How to make men miss you deeply. Have you ever noticed that the people who try the hardest to be remembered are often the ones who are forgotten first? Many women believe that making a man miss them requires endless effort, constant attention, and unconditional availability. The truth is that genuine longing is rarely created by chasing someone who keeps pulling away. Real attraction grows when your presence adds value, instead of simply filling empty space. This is not about playing emotional games or pretending that you do not care. It is about becoming someone whose absence naturally creates appreciation instead of relief. When a man truly values you, your silence eventually becomes louder than your words. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying harder when they feel someone becoming emotionally distant. They believe another message will change everything that months of conversations could not fix. Unfortunately, chasing usually creates pressure instead of strengthening emotional attraction. When someone always expects you to reach out first, they stop appreciating your effort. People rarely miss what they believe will always be available to them. Sometimes, the healthiest decision is allowing someone to experience life without your constant attention. That space often reveals what your presence quietly contributed to their happiness. Your self-respect becomes much more noticeable when you stop begging for basic affection. Confidence begins growing the moment you stop seeking validation from someone else's choices. A woman who respects herself teaches others how they should treat her. Healthy boundaries are not walls built to keep people away from your heart. They are reminders that love should always exist alongside mutual respect and consideration. If someone repeatedly ignores your feelings, accepting that behavior usually encourages it to continue. People often continue giving only the effort that they believe you are willing to accept. The moment your standards become clear, the entire relationship begins to change. Some people rise to meet those standards, while others quietly walk away. Either outcome brings you closer to the kind of relationship you truly deserve. Another powerful habit is creating a meaningful life outside of your romantic relationship. Keep learning new things that challenge your mind and expand your confidence. Spend time with friends who genuinely celebrate your success instead of competing with it. Invest your energy in goals that continue growing whether someone stays or leaves. People naturally admire those who continue moving forward instead of waiting to be chosen. Nothing is more attractive than someone who enjoys life without depending on constant attention. Your happiness becomes magnetic when it comes from purpose instead of approval. Many relationships become trapped in conversations that never lead to lasting change. The same promises are repeated while the same disappointing patterns continue every week. Words can sound comforting, but consistent actions always reveal someone's true intentions. Pay attention to behavior because it usually tells the story that words try to hide. Sometimes quietly stepping back communicates more than another emotional conversation ever could. People often remember what they lost after they stop experiencing it every day. The emotional memories you create also remain long after ordinary conversations have faded away. Most people forget the exact words that were spoken during everyday moments together. They remember how respected, appreciated, and emotionally safe they felt around someone. Kindness leaves a deeper impression than constant emotional drama ever will. Support creates stronger memories than repeated arguments and unnecessary conflict. The way you consistently treat someone becomes part of the story they remember later. Never underestimate the lasting impact of genuine patience and quiet understanding. There is also great strength in refusing to compete for someone's attention. Love should never feel like an endless audition where your value must be constantly proven. If someone keeps making you question your worth, the relationship deserves honest reflection. Real affection should inspire security instead of continuous emotional uncertainty. Walking away from unhealthy treatment is not giving up on love. It is choosing yourself before losing yourself completely. Distance also has an important place inside every healthy relationship. Being available every second does not automatically create deeper emotional connection. Sometimes constant availability quietly removes appreciation without either person realizing it. Healthy space allows people to recognize the comfort your presence once provided. Absence gives emotions time to breathe instead of becoming lost in routine. This is completely different from ignoring someone to create jealousy or confusion. The goal is never manipulation, because manipulation eventually destroys genuine trust. The goal is building a life that remains fulfilling with or without another person's approval. Learning emotional control is another habit that quietly changes every relationship. Not every disagreement deserves an immediate emotional reaction or heated argument. Choosing calmness often demonstrates more confidence than trying to win every discussion. Emotionally mature people protect their peace instead of defending every misunderstanding. That quiet confidence often becomes unforgettable because it reflects genuine inner strength. Never stop becoming a better version of yourself because someone failed to recognize your value. Continue improving your health, your knowledge, and your personal ambitions every single year. Growth creates confidence that cannot be taken away by another person's opinion. The strongest relationships are built between two people who continue growing together. Your dreams deserve attention, even while you are building a meaningful relationship. Your passion should never disappear simply because you fell in love with someone. The healthiest love supports your individuality instead of replacing it completely. Remember that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some people arrive to teach lessons that prepare you for healthier relationships ahead. Others simply reveal the standards you should never lower again. Accepting those lessons is one of the greatest signs of emotional maturity. Holding on to someone who has already let go only delays your own healing. True strength comes from accepting reality instead of fighting what cannot be controlled. In the end, the goal should never be making someone suffer because they lost you. The real goal is becoming someone whose presence naturally adds peace, value, and happiness. If someone eventually realizes your worth, that realization belongs entirely to their journey. If they never recognize your value, your future can still become brighter without them. The people who are hardest to forget are not the ones who chased the longest. They are the ones who loved sincerely while protecting their confidence and self-respect. They left with dignity when they realized their effort was no longer appreciated. That quiet strength becomes the memory that time often struggles to erase. When you truly value yourself, you stop chasing people who refuse to value you. And that is often the moment when your absence begins speaking louder than your presence ever did.